Blockchain gives you a few fundamental powers, so to say. I've created a framework of 8 principles.
Okay.
If you're solving for those 8 principles in your use case, that's when blockchain is useful. Otherwise, don't use it, use current state technology.
Right.
I won't go into too much detail of that, but here are a few of them.
Okay.
It needs to automate. It forces automation.
Okay.
Enforces automation in a lot of manual processes today. It is an easy way to prove authenticity because we have immutability and provenance as a built-in characteristic within blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
So it proves authenticity, right? Or it makes it easier to prove authenticity. It allows us to prove ownership much more easier. So think about any kind of land record or any kind of identity. Today the challenge is, where are those records? Right? Especially in developing countries, those records are not so safe or secure, and there's a large scale
Whoever can
fraud.
hit the other person over the head harder.
Exactly. And somebody goes into that back room, pulls out that file and changes the name, and boom, there goes your grandparents' property.
Right.
I've personally dealt with those issues.
Yeah.
So it makes the proof of ownership much better. Related to that, now let's change the term property into any kind of intellectual property. So let's say music or video, songs, art. It makes your intellectual property rights much more easier to secure and prove.
Okay.
Right? So if you look at all these things, let's go another step. It allows for disintermediation, meaning if there is a value chain or a supply chain where the number of parties, but all of the parties are not adding as much value, you put only the requisite parties on a blockchain network, and now you've disintermediated companies that don't add value. You've eliminated the inefficient parts of the value chain.
So you shed the fat.
Right. So shed the fat, exactly. So if you look at all of this, what does that mean as a global concept? Blockchain is a medium of trust efficiency, to me. To my mind, we create trust today in today's world. We do business all the time,
Yeah.
right? Economies exist. But what is the cost of creating that trust? What's the money, system, and people that you're using to create this trust? Blockchain allows a much more efficient way of creating the same trust, and that can be replicated over and over again.
Right.
So that's the reason blockchain is an effective technology, and in fact a superior technology for what we call value transfer. See, in the previous world, we went from the internet of data. Now we're going to go to the internet of value. What that means is that we will be able to exchange value on a connected network securely and easily. And for that to happen, blockchain is the fundamental foundation underlying technology that will enable the internet of value.
And this is why quietly most large financial and established companies are starting to develop on blockchain.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting projects, even in the digital asset space. Fidelity's been expanding or exploring into this for a long time now. I think institutions are about to come. So if you think about endowments, if you think about large hedge funds, within the next 3 years, I think we will get a lot of regulatory clarity, and then we will get these institutions investing a portion, a very small portion to begin with, of their assets under management into digital assets.